Hey everyone, we are still here at SHOT Show 2024, and I am with Mike of Gideon Optics. You've seen him on my channel before. We go way back. He's been a huge supporter of what I've been doing here on the channel. So as a result, I'm a huge supporter of what he's doing here. And so Gideon Optics is a little bit newer to the game. Some of you may or may not have heard of them, but you guys have been already doing pistol optics for quite some time. I've actually got one of their judges that I've been doing a ton of testing on with my P365 X-Macro. If you've been watching the Training Tuesday videos, all 20 of you that do that, you've seen that optic quite a bit on there. We will be doing a full review of that. But not only do you guys have these pistol optics now, you're starting to branch into some of the rifle optics. But real quick, before we get into the new stuff, can you give us a brief rundown of what your pistol lineup looks like for pistol dots?
Yeah, like if you got to tell me about the X-Macro because I don't have one. I'm like, does the comp work really well? Like,
it does, yeah.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I don't have one yet. So we started out doing pistol dots. Last year was all about pistol dots. It was a great start. We're still in startup mode. We're a small company. We're young and hungry. We've got 3 dots that are on the RMR footprint called the Rock, the Alpha, and the Omega. The Omega is our most popular of the pistol dots. It's our big window. We'll pick one off.
Yep. We'll roll in B-roll.
Yeah, B-roll time. But the Omega is our most popular of those. It's a large window. They're all in the, say, $220 range MSRP on the website, so they're really affordable. We have one kind of halo product right now, which is an acro footprint called the Mediator, rolling in the B-roll. So this is the Mediator, and it's on the acro footprint. It's enclosed emitter, and it's like $250 instead of $220. And then the reason is it has a selectable reticle. So the reticle costs a little bit more, so that makes the optic cost a little bit more. But you can choose between a 3 MOA dot by itself, like a 45 MOA ring, or of course the circle dot with both the dot and the ring around it. You can choose whichever you want on that. So that's our first foray into a selectable. I really like these because they're super tough and they're easy to keep clean. Yep. You don't have to worry about crap getting in the emitter. You know, if it rains, if you get in mud. If you're one of those guys that's doing like tactical games where it's like you know, CrossFit with guns and you're swimming through mud puddles and stuff, way better to do enclosed emitter, right? And these, they're just so much tougher for drop tests and stuff like that. The price you pay on the enclosed emitter is the window is smaller. Sure. So this is a 16 millimeter by 16 millimeter window, which is the same size as your tiny little Judge. Right. So if you look through a Judge, you've looked through this. Right. But look how much bigger it looks on the gun than the Judge is, right? Yeah. So you get a lot of toughness, but you pay a price in like weight and bulk and cost, right? Yeah, and one thing while he's putting that back, a lot of people talk about window size and all that, and yes, it does matter. However, realistically, both eyes are going to be open, so your brain is going to superimpose the images anyway, so it really doesn't have that much effect if you've got proper technique. But enclosed optics, I think, is kind of the way of the future, so it's good to see something like that in a footprint that already exists and is already supported out there. Right, so we've got RMR, RMSC for your Judge, and then the acro is our pistol dot footprints that we support right now. Cool. Yeah. So obviously the pistol dots is something that's already out there. You can definitely take a look at that. But for those of us with astigmatism or other eye issues, prism optics have really started to take off in popularity in a low magnification or 1 power. So what do we have here? This is the Advocate, and this is a 1X prism scope. I really love the reticle in this. I really want to talk about the reticle because I helped design it. Bob and I tackled the reticle together. The great thing about being in startup mode is that your ideas can go straight from you and the customer actually sees them. I love that about what we're doing at Gideon. Hey, I've got a great idea. Cool, 6 months later, it's part of a product, right? That's the exciting part. So these 1X prism scopes, they keep getting smaller and smaller. They keep getting more and more forgiving. So if you haven't looked through a 1X prism scope in 5 years, you're missing out because these are so much better than they were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you couldn't put a magnifier behind them because it's like a parallax nightmare and there's eye relief and all this stuff. Now you can use a magnifier behind it. The eye relief is so good. I can hold it all the way out here and I can still look through it. Yep, somebody turned the illumination off. But I can get a sight picture with the gun like a foot away from me, right? I'll turn that back on because I like my illumination. And the nice thing with the prism optics is even with a dead battery or no illumination, it's still fully usable. You still have that etched reticle in black, which I was able to find just now, even pointing it at a black table. But they're so fast and forgiving, and they're also more affordable than ever because like The old Trijicon TA44, great optic,
Yeah.
but it's like $1,000 for that little 1.5, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be, we're thinking $249, $250 at MSRP.
Yeah.
Get yourself a coupon code and it'll be a little bit less, right?
Sure.
So, and they're super tough. Like, I'm going to get one of these and put it on my Beretta 1301 shotgun, because I think that would be an awesome shotgun optic.
Interesting.
So that's my plan for when I get mine.
Oh.
This one, of course, is on an MP5 because MP5s are the awesomest, best PCC ever.
Absolutely.
I will die on that hill. Delayed blowback for life.
Right.
But yeah, I love a little MP5 with a 1X prism. So fast, so fun.
Yeah. Now I'm interested to see the reticle since you've been talking so much about it.
It's
So-
big, it's bold, it's in your face.
Yeah. And so what I like about something like this is, and we'll roll in a picture of what it looks like. But you've got the chevron, which gives you a really nice, precise point of aim.
Yeah, it's a big triangle. Yeah,
right.
in there.
Then you've also got that ring for really fast, quick, flash sight picture type stuff. So you've got, again, best of both worlds to use.
It's not fancy. There's no BDC.
Right.
There's no advanced features to it. There's no ranging. It's a 1X, man. I'm not taking like a 400-yard shot with a 1X prism scope.
Right.
It's going to be on something like this where I'm pointing and shooting with like a 9mm, and I'm working mostly inside 100 yards. I want to be super fast. I want to go plate
Right.
when I'm in competition, right?
Now, let's
So-
say someone wants to reach out a little bit further than 100 yards.
We
You've got
are-
something for that now, too.
So this has been a long time coming, but this is the first Gideon Optics low power variable optic. It is a 1 to 10, second focal plane. It is a big chonkus. It is a 34mm main tube
Okay.
with a 28mm objective lens and a big ocular lens in the back. And the reason for that is because the problem with 1 to 10 LPBOs is they get tight at 10x, right? Everybody knows this.
Right.
And this one does too. It gets tight at 10x. It's less tight than a 30mm tube, 24mm objective lens LPBO. The glass is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more forgiving. It's a little bit easier to crawl inside that scope at 10x, and you're not sitting there the whole time going, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Now I can start. Yeah. So we've got this one on a lever action, which I love. These are all the hotness right now.
Oh, yeah.
I love the lever actions because it really screws up the gun control narrative. They're like, we should ban all the semi-automatic rifles, and I'm like, well, I'll just bring this then, and then they're like,
Yeah,
you know?
that's not okay either. Where's all the wood?
I'll just take this, you know.
Now I see this one's an MOA. Are you going to do also mills or?
Yes. So
Okay.
this is an MOA in second focal plane.
Okay.
We'll also do a 1 to 8 in second focal plane. It's a BDC reticle. Is what I
Okay.
mean.
Yep.
It's a BDC in second focal plane. We'll do a 1 to 8 BDC in second focal plane. And then we're going to do a 1 to 8 first focal plane,
Okay.
which I have obsessed over that reticle for like 2 months, and I'll show it to you. I've got it on my computer, but we don't have one here at the show.
Sure.
But there will be a 1 to 8 Gideon first focal plane that's going to be affordable and I hope awesome.
Okay.
But this 1 to 10, I'm super happy with how it turned out. The reticle, again, it's thick, it's bold, it's in your face, it's very simple. It's not a spindly little reticle with like 1,000 tiny little points in it. That's not my style. But it'll get you out to 600 yards with a 5.56 gun.
Sure.
That's about all I can expect, right?
Yeah, and now one thing too, when it comes to like a first focal plane 1 to 10, usually what that means is the reticle's really itty bitty tiny at 1 power.
It's going to disappear on
and
you.
almost unusable. So having a second focal plane makes it a little bit faster and easier to pick up at low power. Now, are the markings correct at 10 power, or is it somewhere in between?
At 10, yeah. So if you want to shoot, so it's a 5200 battle sight 0. So out to say 200 yards, you can use it at any magnification. Just hold dead center, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
On like a 5.56 gun. On this, it's a 4570. It would be a whole different ballgame, right?
Right.
But on a 5.56 gun, you're good to 200 with this as center hold. Then what we do is go to 10x, and you got 300, 400, 500, 600.
Right.
If I'm at 10x, I'm shooting supported. You know, I'm on my backpack, my rucksack. I've got a bipod. Or whatever, and I'm taking my time. I have a little bit more time to spend to try to dial in for a longer shot. So you want to be at full whack magnification to get that second focal plane reticle to work.
Yeah, I'm noticing the locking turrets, which is nice. So especially for guys that are hit or miss on exposed turrets, you've got the exposed turrets with the markings and everything, but it's also locking, so you're not going to knock it loose.
Yeah, they're pretty hard to bump. You'd have to really pull it away from the scope body, and
Yeah.
they stay put.
Awesome.
And they actually track, which is nice. So I do a tracking test on these. before we'll sell them to the public. I mean, my personal rule on these things is, if I wouldn't spend MSRP to put it on my own rifle, it's not ready for Gideon to sell it.
Yeah.
So like, would I spend $400 on this to put it on my own AR? Yes.
Yeah.
Right? If the answer's no, it ain't ready yet, and we need to go through another iteration. It needs to be a better product.
Yeah. And again, that's one thing that I appreciate about Michael, and why whatever he's associated with, I'm kind of behind it emotionally as well, because I know his approach to this, your philosophy on things, and it's something that I fully support as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, you've got a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of stuff already out there. If people want to be able to stay on top of product releases or product announcements, where's a good place for them to look?
Check us out. We run a pretty decent Instagram, Gideon Optics Instagram. The website where you can buy these, like tomorrow, is GideonOptics.com. By the time you see this video, they should be on the website and ready to sell.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'll have links to it, because we should be good to link to optics on YouTube. But at very least, I'll have the social media channels. Definitely check them out. Again, they're a new face in the game, but they're doing a lot of really interesting stuff, and I think they're definitely worth taking a look at.
I think so too.
Anything else you want to add?
Now, I've known this guy for a minute now, and I knew you before you were famous.
Yeah.
So it's so good to see you, dude.
Yeah, of course. Great to see you. Yeah, when I was my first time at SHOT Show, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and intimidated by the size, he was like, "Here, come under my wing. Let me help you out here."
I
and
knew you were going to do it,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
I saw it in you.
Yep. So thank you very much for your time. Again, check out the links down below. A lot more coverage coming from SHOT Show 2024, so stay tuned for that. But as always, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.